At Concentric, we help enterprises discover, monitor, and protect their data, where through the use of deep learning, we help enterprises semantically understand their data with context, understand where there is risk from it, as well as remediate and protect that information. As a team, we have a long history of building and shipping enterprise-class security platforms for enterprises. But what really distinguishes our product is the fact that we help enterprises understand their data with context at a level that is just unparalleled in the industry. Everything from contracts to intellectual property to personally identifiable information to business confidential information, without them having to write a single rule, craft a single policy up front. Not only discover that information, but also understand where there may be risk from inappropriate use, wrong entitlements, inappropriate sharing, unauthorized activity, and help protect that by proactively remediating those situations and preventing data loss. What our customers have found is they can deploy this at petabyte level scale without requiring a large team, without having to do a lot of work up front. And the level of autonomy that we have brought to data security for an enterprise is pretty unparalleled and quite differentiated. We have a long history of building and shipping enterprise-class security solutions. But what really differentiates our product is the level of context and the level of automation that we have brought to helping enterprises understand their data with context. Everything from contracts to legal documents to financial data to intellectual property to personally identifiable information, where without false positives, false negatives, we have helped them understand their data. They don't have to craft a single rule, policy, expression. And not only can we help them understand where all of their data is within their environment, but we can also help them understand where there is risk from inappropriate permissioning, wrong entitlements, unauthorized access, and remediate those situations and prevent data loss. For a critical layer of an enterprise where at the end of the day, no matter what happens, whether it's ransomware or malware, the attackers are after your data. And so to the extent that we can help protect enterprises from those situations, we are helping protect a critical layer within enterprise. And we do this at scale, where enterprises have deployed us at petabytes without necessarily having a large team, without requiring to do a lot of work. And the level of automation and the level of accuracy that we have brought to this data security process is pretty unparalleled and quite differentiated. Traditional ways of discovering data within an enterprise has often relied on writing rules and doing regex-based pattern matching, which in the face of a lot of the unstructured data that enterprises have, often doesn't work because you don't have the context to necessarily understand your data. For example, if you're looking at a legal document, as humans we do is we eyeball the document to figure out what it's actually talking about. And that's not what enterprises do today. They're often looking for a word or a pattern, which in the face of unstructured data often doesn't work. And so what we're doing is bringing deep learning and natural language processing to help do exactly what humans would do, except at scale, where we're essentially looking at the data to understand and infer broader import and meaning, to be able to tell a customer, okay, this is source code, or this is an important contract, or this is data that's governed by export control requirements, or this is financial data. And because we're helping understand the data with context, we can do it extremely accurately with extremely low false positives and false negatives. All of this sounds like magic. The best way for any enterprise to be able to really test the efficacy of something like this is to deploy this within your own environment. Our solution literally takes 10 minutes for somebody to deploy. And within a few days, we can give customers a very representative view into their data. And they can decide for themselves how the solution works within their environment with extremely low to minimal effort. And so that's sort of the best way for any enterprise to be able to evaluate solutions of this ilk, is to take it for a spin and to be able to then test it out for themselves. And we have used our solution successfully today to help customers from data access governance, data classification requirements, cloud DLP, data leakage prevention requirements, to data security posture management as well. And we've got successful reference implementations today at scale where customers will attest to just how we've been able to help them solve for their business outcomes when traditional approaches have failed them for years and years and years. We're pretty excited. ChatGPT has become quite the sensation in recent times. We were using language models 3 years ago to do a lot of this, except in the context of data security, very specifically focused on this. And one of the challenges with things like ChatGPT and language models are they can be very compute intensive. And one of the things we recently announced is we've done a lot of work, proprietary technology, to essentially be able to optimize these models, where in a cost-efficient manner, we can make this available to enterprises at scale for very, very affordable price points. And so we're pretty excited about how we've been able to bring language models to the world of data security to help them understand, monitor, and protect their data. We used to talk about, our product is called Semantic Intelligence, and we used to talk about semantic understanding. We now talk about language models because people understand what language models can do for them in terms of understanding broader import of meaning. In the context of ChatGPT, it's around specific questions for which you want answers. In our case, it's about understanding an enterprise's data and making sense of it. This is a critical layer for an enterprise. I mean, if you look at core enterprise security platforms, data is one of them. And for years, almost decades, this has been a technology that has underperformed relative to its importance. It is one that has actually delivered underwhelming value for a lot of enterprises. And so we're super excited that we've finally been able to, using the advent of technology, to be able to help enterprises easily solve for what is actually a critical layer for them, the data layer within their enterprise.